Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 2. What a game of football. And Trent Alexander-Arnold with one of the most important goals I think he scored for Liverpool. I know it was a little bit of a deflection, but if Liverpool lose that game, the cracks really are beginning to show. And ultimately taking a draw away from Villa Park, particularly from a losing position, is the kind of result that champions are built upon. It's not as far-fetched as it used to be, because the gap now that Arsenal can make on Liverpool is getting closer, 5 points, if they beat West Ham on the weekend. Ultimately, Liverpool looked leggy in the final 20 minutes. They gave away almost 4 or 5 big chances in the final 20 minutes. We're going to break down all the goals and where this leaves Liverpool in the Premier League title race. It is one of the games of the season, and you feel that Aston Villa versus Liverpool has always been such an entertaining fixture. I remember in the 7-2 from COVID, but so many goals. I love this fixture because both sides just want to attack and they want to go at each other, and that certainly happened today. Liverpool's front three I thought were absolutely fantastic. A little bit less control in midfield than we've seen at points, but that was down to Aston Villa. Yuri Tielemans fantastic, John McGinn as well, and it was a very, very end-to-end game. It opened up with Rashford being offside for a pass into Ollie Watkins, but it showed you very, very quick that ball over the top that Rashford could latch onto was always there. And Rashford looks so powerful in an Aston Villa shirt. He looks so electrifying. And you feel that Trent really, really struggled in the game today. Even Konate, I thought, some of his defensive decision-making, I thought, was a little bit off today. In particular, kind of the Route 1 stuff, the kind of the clearances, the kind of power in the air that Konate usually has, didn't quite happen today. And ultimately, Liverpool conceded too many chances that Arne Slot would be happy about. Liverpool opened the scoring when new signing from Levante, Garcia, gave the ball away to Diogo Jota, fires it into Mohamed Salah with a beautiful finish, top scorer in the Premier League now, smashing things into the roof of the net. This guy just looks like he's playing FIFA Street. Like, he looks like he's playing a video game and he's in the video game. Just to smash it into the roof of the net. No nerves, no nothing. Top of the Premier League scorers charts. His legendary status in the Premier League is inching further and further up the table. How high can he go? He can get into that kind of, if he stays for 2 or 3 more years, Mohamed Salah, we're talking, the kind of range where he could be the second highest scorer in the history of the Premier League, third highest scorer in the history of the Premier League. And this is absolutely crazy from a right winger that came midway through his career. I mean, it's not like he came when he was 16 years old. He's been doing it for a very delicate part of his career where he's only got the back end of his 20s and his early 30s. I mean, we're talking 7 or 8 years versus 15 years doing it. Absolutely, absolutely outrageous. Aston Villa's goal was a little bit Route 1. It was bouncing all over the place, balls into the box, headers back across the face of the box, and Tielemans with a great little finish. And from that point, Aston Villa were still creating a bulk of the chances. I think Diogo Jota had a chance in and around this part of the game as well. With that Premier League ball, the rebrand, going back to basics, going back to prime Barclays, Diogo Jota's got to bend that in like Thierry Henry, like Wayne Rooney, and he skies it. It's absolutely crazy. The wasteful chances from both sides, how both sides were taking their chances, very, very wasteful. 1-1, and at that point, again, Aston Villa were in the dominating position. And then Ollie Watkins makes it 2-1. Beautiful ball in from Luca Digne. He's been outstanding this season. He really has. And it's a great finish from Ollie Watkins. I saw Aston Villa fans saying that they lamented the idea of losing John Duran for Ollie Watkins. But for the here and now, for a Champions League campaign, it could still happen. For a top 5 push, it could still happen. For Aston Villa, Ollie Watkins is the main man. He's absolutely fantastic. And from that position, really, Aston Villa, I think they'll be gutted they drew this game. I really do. They had big, big chances. And then steps up Trent just outside the box. Big strike, big powerful strike. Bounces off Tyrone Mings. It's one of those you can't really blame Tyrone Mings. At points today, I thought he was exposed a little bit lack of pace, a little bit positionally in the wrong areas. And ultimately unlucky for what is basically, it might be an own goal. I'm not entirely sure if it was going on target, but the power of the strike from Trent sends it over the line. One of the most important moments for him in a title race season. Obviously had big moments for Liverpool in the Champions League, but to get Liverpool in a drawing position, absolutely huge. And then we have to be completely real and say Liverpool, this is what's so fascinating about the game. Both sides could have literally be sad about the fact they didn't win it 4 or 5-2, because ultimately the best chance of the game that didn't go into the back of the net. The ball from Conor Bradley down the outside, which he does a lot of when he comes on. He loves whipping that ball down the line. Szoboszlai does an unbelievable long-busting run into the Aston Villa half, and a ball gets played across to Darwin Nunez. We're talking 7 yards out, and it's row Z. It's the kind of miss that costs sides titles. It's the kind of miss that costs you your career at a big club like Liverpool. This is one too many times now for Darwin Nunez. Big moments completely wasted. It's not a joke. If you miss that when you're 6-0 up, it's not a laughing matter, in my opinion, when you're playing for a big club. You feel that he's not improving. He's not able to improve. You can be critical of someone that isn't able. You can be critical of someone that can improve, that doesn't want to, doesn't put the work in. I just don't think he's got the football ability in his brain to bend that in and be cute about it. You don't even, like, Nicolas Anelka was great at this. The soft finish, just the little, David Trezeguet, open your body and just bend it with your right foot. That's all he had to do, and he skies it. It's one of the worst misses of the season. It might be the worst miss of the season, particularly if it costs Liverpool 3 points, and it drops them down to getting 1 point out of the game. So 2 points drops. Big miss. But at that position, Liverpool aren't able to manage the game. They don't have the legs to get on the ball and work hard in that regard, because they look absolutely shattered, Liverpool. They look absolutely shattered, and they conceded so many chances to Wolves in the final few minutes on the weekend. I just think this Arne Slot side are, every week they're praying for their nucleus of players, the Van Dijks, the Konates, the Gravenberches, Salah, Alisson, to all be 100% and just build a side around the same 6 or 7 players. And they're not able to. They're not able to trust enough out of Darwin Nunez. They haven't got a thick enough squad on the bench. It's not necessarily Arne Slot's fault. Didn't spend any money in the summer. But they look absolutely shot. The amount of chances they gave away, they are so lucky they didn't lose the game, Liverpool. Marlon, 2 big chances that he skied. Well, one that went wide. Morgan Rogers with a chance that he skied. Jacob Ramsey was something that was offside. Liverpool can't continue in this way. And I know Man City have lost in the Champions League, but ultimately Liverpool have to be more ruthless. Liverpool have to be better on the ball. They have to keep higher percentage of the ball. Villa away is hard. Man City away is hard. Newcastle at home in the league is a different kind of proposition. But Liverpool have to get over this hurdle. They have to get back to a little bit more of a winning formula, because they look a little bit too easy to play against. Plymouth found it. Wolves found it. I know they beat Wolves, but Everton last minute, that was route 1 as well. A long looping ball into the box. It was a little bit route 1. I know it was an emotional moment in the derby, but Tarkowski getting on the end of a long looping first ball, that is route 1 basic defending that Liverpool aren't quite living up to. And we saw it with Aston Villa with the Tielemans equaliser. Still the best side, I'd say, in Europe, the favourites to win the Champions League and the Premier League. But this is the real hurdle that a lot of Premier League title winning sides always have to go through, because drawing from this kind of position, particularly the way they drew the game, there are ways of drawing a football match 2-2 when it could have been 5-2 to Villa. Little bit on the luckier side, dare I say it. Still fantastic from Salah, fantastic from Trent. And Liverpool go again against Man City. I'll be previewing that on the channel, so make sure you subscribe. I'll see you very, very soon.